Today, we begin with a thrilling moment in automotive and cultural appreciation. The Petersen Automotive Museum in Los Angeles has opened an immersive exhibition titled Performance and Prestige: A History of Aston Martin, showcasing more than a century of design excellence from the iconic British marque Aston Martin. The exhibit opens on October 30th, 2025 in the Myers Gallery and will run through October 2026, inviting visitors to explore the evolution of one of the most revered names in luxury performance cars. This exhibition not only taps into the glamour and prestige associated with Aston Martin, but also shines a spotlight on design, art, engineering, and cultural history, all through the lens of vehicles that have become symbols of performance, cinematic cool, and craftsmanship. The list of cars on display reads like a who's who of automotive legend. Models such as the 1949 DB2 prototype, the 1961 DB4 GT Zagato, the 1979 Bulldog concept, the 2015 Vulcan, and the 2021 Valkyrie Spider. Now let's pivot into the broader story behind this event and what it means for car culture, design history, and the evolution of one of Britain's most storied marques. Aston Martin was founded in 1913 by racer Lionel Martin and engineer Robert Bamford under the name Bamford and Martin Limited. The name Aston Martin emerged after Lionel's success at the Aston Clinton Hill Climb. From the early years of racing, the brand built its identity around performance, elegance, and craftsmanship. In the interwar and post-war periods, Aston Martin shifted toward grand tours and sports cars that combined luxury finishes with sporting credentials. The DB series, for David Brown, who purchased the company in 1947, helped define the marque's signature style: refined proportions, distinctive grille, hand-built details, and the balance of performance with refinement. The DB2 and DB4 models are prime examples of that era. The inclusion of the 1949 DB2 prototype in the Petersen exhibit underscores this heritage. In the 1960s especially, Aston Martin's design work reached cultural altitudes. The DB5, famously associated with the James Bond film Goldfinger, 1964, became a global icon not just for its performance, but for its style, cultural resonance, and cinematic presence. That era tied the brand to notions of British elegance, espionage, cool, and automotive desirability. Fast forward to the 1970s and beyond, and design experiments became increasingly bold. The 1979 Bulldog concept car, also included in the exhibit, exemplifies the era's futuristic wedge shapes, gull-wing doors, and ambitious engineering. It hinted at what the brand could do when unbound by production constraints, and it now stands as a design artifact. By the 21st century, Aston Martin expanded into hypercars and track-only machines like the Vulcan and avant-garde models like the Valkyrie. These vehicles carry forward design language, aggressive aerodynamics, sculpted surfaces, visible engineering that connects to the brand's DNA yet pushes into the future. The exhibit gives space to these modern expressions as well. Why does this matter right here and now? First, design museums such as the Petersen are increasingly significant as cultural venues, not just for historic cars, but for design narratives, industrial history, and technological evolution. By curating an exhibition around Aston Martin, the museum acknowledges that cars are not just transport machines, but works of art, engineering, and cultural statement. Second, the exhibition's timing coincides with shifts in automotive industry: electrification, changing consumer expectations, globalization of design, and shifting brand identities. For Aston Martin to present over a century of performance and prestige is to frame its past while also positioning itself for a future where heritage and innovation must coexist. Moreover, this exhibition helps demystify car design. Visitors can now see how design shapes form and function, how proportions change, how aerodynamics integrate, how materials and technologies evolve, and how brand identity persists. That educational angle strengthens appreciation for automotive craftsmanship rather than just horsepower or luxury badge. Let's reflect on some of the key vehicles featured in the exhibit for illustrative purpose. The 1949 DB2 prototype was a post-war sports car that competed at Le Mans and laid the groundwork for production DB2 series. Its inclusion signals the post-war resurgence and British sports car ambition. The 1961 DB4 GT Zagato, of which only around 19 were built, represents elite coach-built craftsmanship, Italian-British collaboration, and limited-run exclusivity. The 2015 Vulcan pushes into track-only territory with V12 power and modern aerodynamics. The 2021 Valkyrie Spider represents hypercar status with over 1,000 horsepower and advanced materials. In terms of design aesthetics, one can trace the evolution. Early sports models focused on streamlined shapes, modest performance, and handcrafted luxury. Grand Tourers added comfort, size, and prestige. Concepts like the Bulldog embraced future forms. Hypercars fuse boutique manufacturing, extreme power, and highly refined design. Through all this, Aston Martin's grille, proportions, and finishes provide brand continuity. What can visitors expect from the exhibit? According to the Petersen, beyond static vehicles, the experience includes detailed narratives of heritage, racing history, interactive media, and design documentation. The Myers Gallery will host the vehicles and give visitors context: how racing influenced road car design, how luxury and sport converge, how aesthetics and function become inseparable. For Los Angeles and beyond, the exhibition adds to the city's cultural offerings in automotive history and design. The museum's location on Wilshire Boulevard in the Miracle Mile puts it in the nexus of art, design, and entertainment, drawing both car enthusiasts and general museum going audiences. From the perspective of the brand, Aston Martin sees this as more than a retrospective. As Marek Reichman, Aston's chief creative officer, stated, the exhibition not only celebrates the iconic vehicles that have made Aston Martin a symbol of prestige, but also highlights our continued innovation in motorsport and cutting edge road cars. Historically, Aston Martin's racing pedigree has been paramount. Their early racing efforts, Le Mans campaigns, and the development of lightweight aluminum bodies helped shape performance and design. The brand's legacy in the 1950s and 1960s is rooted in these traditions. The exhibit will spotlight those racing roots and its translation to road cars. In terms of preservation and design studies, the show serves as a case study. Educators, designers, and students can examine how a brand manages heritage, evolves with technology, and maintains identity through changing times. For instance, how does a brand known for handcrafted luxury adjust when global sourcing, digital design, and electric propulsion become dominant? Exhibition like this makes those questions tangible. On the broader cultural side, Aston Martin's connection to film, especially the James Bond franchise, adds layers of meaning. The DB5's appearances in Bond films minted it as a cultural icon. The exhibition reminds visitors that cars live not only on roads, but in popular imagination, film, design magazines, and global culture. As we look ahead, the themes of the exhibit suggest that Aston Martin will use this moment to reinforce its core claims: performance, craftsmanship, and desirability. In a time of industry disruption, EVS, autonomous driving, platform sharing, heritage brands must reinforce what makes them unique. This exhibit underlines that uniqueness in a public way. Finally, for the public, the exhibition invites reflection. How do we value design? How do we celebrate technological evolution? How do we preserve heritage? Whether you're a car enthusiast, designer, student, or just curious about luxury and performance, the exhibition offers an immersive pathway to deeper understanding. In closing, this new show at the Petersen Automotive Museum is not just about cars. It's about design history, cultural impact, and the evolution of automotive excellence. It is a celebration of over a century of Aston Martin's journey and a reminder that the story of the car is an ever evolving one. We follow breaking news, so follow us and subscribe to stay current.